when Greece was set up, when its democracy was set up, its economy was driven largely by the labor of slaves. And in that way, yes, the United States was, at its inception, very much like Greece. Another way that America is like and was like ancient Greece is that former slaves in Greece were called metics. They were free in name only, but they could not vote. So they really weren't full citizens. In fact, they weren't citizens at all. They had no voice in the government. America is like that as well, because after the slaves were freed by the Emancipation Proclamation and then ultimately the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery in the United States, the Southern states said, just because you're free, that doesn't mean you're citizens, and you have to be citizens to vote. And so we passed the 14th Amendment. And then the Southern states said, just because you're citizens of the United States does not mean that you are citizens of our individual states. You have to be citizens of our individual states to vote. And so Congress proposed the 14th Amendment, which provided equal protection for those who were in a former condition of slavery, and thought that that would solve the problem for the former slaves. That would bring them into the whole of society, make them full participants in this quote unquote democracy. And Southern states said, well, just because you have equal protection, that doesn't guarantee you the right to vote. We will put these additional conditions. In other words, you should see the picture. What the Southern states kept doing, what this democracy kept doing to Black people, was putting up barriers and impediments in front of them and in their path so that they could not be full participants. So even though we were technically citizens, we were very much like the ancient Greek democracy because we had the status of metics. And metics in ancient Greece were quote unquote free, but they had no voice.